to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington football podcast by fans for fans. With your hosts, Jesse Martin.
You want to play what? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
John Taman.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
And Keith Gray.
The King, your majesty.
And now here's your host, John Taman.
Hey everybody, and welcome once again to another goddamn pickle episode of I can't even say it. I'm sorry, we were having
This is a professional show, gentlemen.
You're right,
Get it together.
Welcome to another pickle tickling episode of the Bleeding Burgundy podcast. This is episode number 72. My name is John Taman. I'm your host for this afternoon's Victory Monday celebration. And joining me, as always, is my man who's filling his face, Keith Gray and Jesse Martin. Keith, we'll start with you since your mouth is full.
Oh, it's empty, sir.
Okay.
How you doing? Thanks for having
Very
me
good.
on your show, sir.
Oh, you're quite welcome there. Those are some awesome swallowing skills that you have. Jesse, how about you? How are you today?
I'm doing fan-fucking-tastic, let me tell you. It
Hell
is the
yeah,
season finale of the Bleeding Burgundy podcast. Just to let you guys know. Yeah, sort of. So, so yay. So this time,
That's great.
this time last year's, I guess you can call it the anniversary, coming up on the anniversary. So we'll just move into season 2.
Are we doing
That's
anything like special on our anniversary? What is it?
We're
I
gonna
don't
have
know.
Selma Hayek naked.
Yep, there you go.
We've been asking her. Her agent won't answer.
I don't even know who that is.
Really?
Jesus
Get
Christ.
on your Google right now. Good Lord.
Mm.
I don't watch a lot of
Google up
TV, gentlemen.
Salma
I
Hayek.
spend
You don't-
my whole day
you don't-
on Twitter.
Listen, you don't need to watch a whole lot of TV. If she's within, I'd say, 3 states of you, your penis will point directly towards her.
Up,
You just stand still for a minute, and you'll move in
up, up and a little to the right.
Well, it's not.
All right. Well, now anyway.
Well, this is starting out fantastic, gentlemen.
This is great. So professional.
Jesse, when you first DM me, was this what you had in mind in that DM when you're like, hey, do you want to do a podcast together?
I mean, I don't know what I was thinking. To be honest with you, I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Back in the spring, y'all said, "Hey, John, you guys want to do this show?" And y'all were like, "I don't know what we're gonna get with this guy, but I've heard he's okay."
Yeah.
I am a big freaking water balloon full of shit coming at you.
Yeah, I have to go on an apology tour every episode.
That's not my fault.
Yeah, whatever.
You know,
Yeah,
my
whatever.
It
you keep
happens.
standing up, and Mr. Up and to the right is looking right at us. So
Whatever.
and Scott just opened up his spreadsheet. Up and to the right.
That's all right. Ty's waiting for you to say
No!
something fucked up.
Well, all right. I'm not going to say anything. Fucked up for time. No, sir. Okay. Anyway, we had a good win yesterday, and I know there's a lot of people out there that were crying today. We're not picking 10th. We're picking 11th. We're 9th.
Jesus
I don't
Christ.
know how. Honestly, I don't know how it would have worked out because we needed the Vikings to lose and the Seahawks to lose, and neither one of them did. So that would have gotten us up to 7 if we had lost. But since we won and both of them won, 11 is good. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think
Like our
we
11th
would have been picking 9th or 10th. So it doesn't. Listen, I could care less in season. I don't care about where we're picking draft picks. It's just I want to win. It doesn't matter if we're 0-15. I want to win at least one game or every game. It doesn't make a difference. What we could is draft has nothing. It's not on my mind until weeks after week 17 or now 18. So yeah.
Well, it'll be on your mind because the season is now over.
Hmm.
But I tell you what, I had this discussion with a couple of people yesterday on Twitter before the game because I want to beat the Giants. I hate the Giants. I know everybody that is a Washington fan hates the Cowboys and the Giants and the Eagles, but I hate the Giants, then the Cowboys, then the Eagles. I hate the fucking Giants. I want to watch John Mara stub his toe and cry like a baby. I want to watch that man. Everything that could happen to him that's not, going to kill him. Like, I want a bus to accidentally, let out some noxious fumes right in front of his face while he's on a closed circuit TV camera. I can't stand the Giants. John Mara knows why.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of with you on that. Just the fact that John Mara raised such a stink when the uncapped year.
Well, he
we
cheated is what he did.
Yeah,
he damn well did.
And then we get penalized, and he, it was just he's just a fucking he's
not just us. All right. See, here's what. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. What he did was he called a quick, fast quorum of NFL owners, of which they only needed like 4 or 5, to vote on this, and we got penalized a $34 million cap hit, and the Cowboys got penalized.
Yeah.
Nobody else got
penalized. Cowboys got penalized like $10 million. It wasn't
9,
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But the thing was, they were penalizing us because together in a room, the owners got together and colluded to keep salaries down so that none of them would be able to get rid of anybody while they had this salary cap burp, right? This little break in the salary cap where they didn't have a cap and everything. In other words, they illegally colluded to suppress wages, and he punished the freaking Redskins for not doing it.
Yeah.
That fuck John Mara. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we fucking beat him. Anyway, Keith, why don't you carry on for a minute? Because as usual, once I start the show, my dog wants to go fucking outside. That's right. You're on the spot.
So Keith, what did you think of the win yesterday?
I don't really care. I mean, I'm glad that we won and went out on a high note. The game was super boring, obviously, until the third, fourth quarter. Good with that. But listen, I'm not going to get excited about us beating Jake Fromm,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, listen, I'm probably going to be boring talking about this just because, like I said, yesterday I had really zero interest. I was tossing around going to the game or not. I just kept thinking in my head, do this for one last time, closing a chapter, to the Washington football team type deal. But then when I stepped outside and realized how cold it was, I'm like, I'm not a real fan. I'm not a real fan, so I'm not going to go ahead and.
Man, it was 62 degrees here yesterday, and then 25 degrees this morning. But what I am happy about is Terry McLaurin getting 1,000 yards for the season. That's 2 in a row. First time that's happened since what was it? 79? Am I remember that right? Or
79?
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you who our receivers were in 79. Charlie Taylor had retired by then.
But I thought
we had the
what was
stars and
his
the fun
total?
bunch hadn't come.
It was
Charlie Taylor
or
No.
McLaurin.
Yeah.
I think it was like 1,000. It was 1,023 or 1,060 something.
So I'm gonna have to be the glass half empty guy and say that 1, I don't really care about those kinds of records, and 2, we play an extra game, so it's like,
Well,
you kind of teetered that.
I'll tell you
so
what.
what?
Hey,
Don't just rub me off like. So what about your opinion?
I
I
see
care about
that.
your opinion, Keith.
I see that.
I do care
I
about
can
your
understand that.
So what, Keith?
I can
Go ahead,
definitely
Jesse.
understand that. That goes all the way back to the
And
TJ
that's why
Watt.
we're best friends.
The TJ Watt breaking the sack record, Michael Strahan's sack record, but he did it on the 17th game. So
See, so there, I snuffed him off too.
it's like, okay, they broke the records, but they needed an extra game to do it.
I see the way this
Gibson
is,
got his 1,000 too.
Yes,
right?
he did. Yep.
Yeah.
I was
he
going to
did.
hit
He
on
got
that
his 1,000.
next.
Then he had a really good game. He finally
He
was hitting
did.
the
He
hole.
did. He
We'll
really
get to
did.
him in a second. When you're talking about records and how they change, because they went from 14 games to 16 games. They used to have 8 teams that played 10 games, right? And
Yeah.
there's records from those eras that are still standing, like Don Hudson. Okay, anytime you're talking greatest wide receivers of all time, and some idiot brings up Don Hudson, just realize that motherfucker farts and turns around and sniffs it himself. All right, that's what kind of person you're dealing with. Don Hudson led the league in passing, and he holds records for things like most consecutive years leading the league in passing, like 8 or 9, which is true because he'd catch like 30 passes, and other teams would throw like 12 passes a year.
Yeah.
You want to see a pass from the era that Don Hudson played? Look at my Twitter feed today, and I put up a video of a freaking pass from 1933. It's ridiculous. So it doesn't matter if it's an extra game. They're always going to be evolving the game.
Sure.
It's also a time, when you talk about all-time records, I said Charlie Taylor, right? Blah, 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 blah. I know. I gotta
matter.
I gotta fill in some football knowledge to make up for you and your freaking eye candy. You're so pretty. Just sit there and be beautiful, darling. Anyway,
I just want to do the show like Jesse.
Well, put it this way. All right, this is why you have to watch the YouTube channel, people. Oh my God.
Who cares? Who cares? Who cares about my opinion? So what?
Well, see, look, you got to factor in things like rules changes. And one of the best ways to look at rules changes is you look at the number one, the record for receptions in a season. Okay. And it was the first time, I'll put it this way. It was broken in 1962 by some guy from the AFL Chargers. And it didn't get touched again until Charlie Taylor broke it in like 1975 or 76 or something like that. And then it didn't get touched again until Steve Largent broke it like 7 or 8 years later. And then it didn't get touched again until Art Monk broke it. And then after Art Monk broke it, it's been broken like 25 times. And again this year, Cooper Kupp. So rules changes make these records, they're all going to be obsolete. So no, I don't care if he got it in 17 games. He got it.
Yeah, no, I could go. No argument for me.
There.
I mean, things change. It's life. It happens. Look, they got records. Great.
Yep. So there you
Super
go.
Bowls, baby. I want Super Bowls. Got 3 right here on this hat. I need 1 more before I die.
Yeah, it'd be nice. You'll need a bigger hat.
Right. Well,
That's
no.
cool.
No.
Just redo that hat.
Because it'll just say Commander Hogg's Admirals on it, and then it'll have one emblem.
Yeah, there you go. So we did have a football game yesterday for the final football game of the Washington football team. And we beat up on the stinking, rotten, terrible, awful, goddamn New York Giants. And all you people today that were sitting on Twitter laughing at me today and lecturing me on, look, we don't have any room to talk about how bad they are. I don't give a shit. Fuck them. We beat them. I hate them. Fuck them forever.
Look, okay, as much talk as how Washington has been such a clown show, okay?
Yeah, only by that guy.
At least we're not the New York Giants.
Right.
And might I add that they're bringing Joe Judge back for another year.
Isn't that great?
Right there is just icing on the cake from the win yesterday to me, because I think Joe Judge is a fucking idiot. He did 2 quarterback sneaks yesterday from inside the
inside
5-yard line. Who fucking does that?
He does.
You're giving up on second down already. It's what you do. You're giving the fuck up on second down.
You can't hand it to Saquon Barkley. I mean, he's supposed to be all world, and he has been in the past, right? You can't just turn around and give it to him. You're that afraid of having a fuck up. When they did that, I was watching Good Morning Football this morning. By the way, Kay Adams was just looking absolutely delicious.
Man, she is. Oh my God,
she's amazing.
I don't even know who that is.
You don't know who Kay Adams is? Holy shit, dude! Well, no wonder you don't play.
Do you watch Good Morning Football?
No, he doesn't watch Good Morning Football. He's at work.
Okay. He doesn't go to work.
Yeah,
she's a fantasy football.
Talking to kids.
Right here. I have it on every morning because she's a fantasy football guru. She's fantastic.
All right, but I'm gonna look her up.
She's a football guru. She's probably like 4'3", but I'm not even gonna get started. She's so.
I don't remember what the hell I was saying. I thought about Kay Adams, and now it's all blown out of my head. I told you this was be a pickle tickling episode of the Eating Burgundy podcast. Yeah. What was I saying?
But Kay Adams was.
Oh yeah, she's pretty hot.
Yes, no, she is definitely. What were we talking about? What did Kay Adams say this morning about the Giants?
Oh, I can't remember.
Okay.
I don't even know. It went right out of my head. Remember, I am the old guy on the show. Keith.
There you go.
Give us what you learned yesterday. You learned it was too cold to go to the game.
Pretty much. I mean, I just look. Giants are terrible. They were terrible even when Daniel Jones was in there. They're terrible with Mike Lennon, and they were even more terrible with Jake Fromm.
He hit a couple of passes. He'd have hit a bomb if freaking Kenny Galladay would have stuck his hand out.
Oh, I know. No
You remember
effort
how
there. It went right off his fingers. Yeah,
It's funny. Joe Judge was like, "My guys are not quitting; they're fighting till the end."
Even the
I've had phone calls from previous players that were here that wanted to come back, and I forget who said it. He was, but Wayne Gallman was the only player that they let go from the previous year. So, like.
Even the commentators,
the
commentators of the game even said, "God, you couldn't lay out for that."
Like, dude, it wasn't even a layout. It was stick your hand out. He
like T-Rex armed
it. It hit him in the fingertips.
You know what he did? He saw that ball coming down and go, if this breaks one of my fingers, I'm not going to be able to drive very well tomorrow when I go to the golf course. It's going to mess with my putting. And he went,
yeah.
That's what he did. And I remember what I was talking about when I thought about Kay Adams and how delicious she is, and it blew it out of my head. And that was Joe Judge in his post game defending that stupid shit from inside the 5-yard line, going, "That's right. We got ourselves in punting position. We got ourselves some space to make that punt, and we played the odds, and we made our punt. That's what we're going to fall back on. We're going to."
But you're giving up on second down. I mean, like who fucking does that shit?
And it's not like at the 1 schminch line, you try that to give yourself a little bit of room so that you can try a handoff, for God's sakes. But he was at the 4-yard line for the second try, or the 3-yard line for the second try, and wouldn't even turn around and hand it to Saquon Barkley. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, no,
they did quit.
I don't feel as bad about the Washington football team after witnessing what we witnessed yesterday from the New York Giants.
I agree with that 100%.
It really, and I know a lot of people have put out like, all right, so what do we feel about the team? A lot of people are down on the team. We finished with the same record as we did last year, except for one more loss because of the extra game. But I still think we are better position this year for going into this offseason than we were last year. We've had a lot of injuries, a lot of key players, like big players, missed a lot of the season. Fucking Ryan Fitzpatrick, for one. Chase Young. Montez Sweat was fucking gone for most of the season. We've had injuries to Curtis Samuel, and a lot of people are wanting to get rid of Curtis Samuel already. That's fucking stupid bullshit. Players get injured, okay? Players get injured. It happens. We don't know.
And sometimes they get injured before the season starts and they're gone for the year.
It fucking happens. It happens. I was not necessarily wanted him to come here. I wanted to kind of go for Corey Davis, or even maybe Corey Davis and Curtis Samuel, but I still think he has a big future in Washington. We're just going to wait till next year to see it.
A lot of the fans are all over Curtis Samuel, and I get it. It's because you bring a guy in, you want to see production. We were supposed to have better results out of our receivers than what we've gotten.
You're supposed to have Deebo Samuel there.
Right.
Not exactly. Deebo Samuel. It's not Deebo Samuel. You're talking about the rookie.
No, I'm talking about Curtis Samuel was supposed to be our Deebo Samuel.
Oh yeah. Well, we didn't see it. But it's earlier today. I saw someone comparing Josh Doctson, Malcolm Kelly, and who was that other receiver?
De'Ami Brown?
No. It was the same draft. I think same draft as Malcolm Kelly. Devin
Townsend?
No. Malcolm Kelly. We drafted 2 receivers in the first round. That's not even a comparison. Curtis Samuel has already proven himself in the league. He's already produced in the league.
He's only produced 1 year though.
He's produced a couple
years.
Seasons.
1 year.
No, he's produced a couple seasons. The fact of the matter is he was injured. Players get fucking injured all the time. It fucking happens. He is healthy now. He'll be healthy all off season. Go through a full off season program. He already knows awesome. I think he's just gonna be just pretty good.
I hope he knows that he's been running it all fucking year.
We have to sign Terry McLaurin and get that deal done ASAP.
Not worried about that at all.
I think we'll get that done, and I think
That's
we'll get
gonna
that done
happen.
because we saw that Terry is going to be included in the ceremony that's going to unveil the new name, and I don't think that you do that if you're not intending on fucking signing this dude.
Well, I
He
mean,
is
he still
I
has
agree.
1 year. He still has
And they
1
know
year
it.
left on his
They know it.
contract, but they just can't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Regardless, he's going to be back because he's still under contract. But we just need to sign him long term, get him
We
done.
do have some other important cogs that are going to be coming up for free agency,
Sure.
such as Troy Apke. I mean, we really need to discuss whether. Dude did have a good play yesterday, and he almost had a second one, but he didn't fucking get the ball under control.
I can't believe he did this. Fucking app, he just knocks that shit out of bounds at the fucking 1 yard line.
And it was, it's a great play. He tried to catch it.
Stupid. But I got to say this because for as many people that wanted Jeremy Reeves to make the team, you saw why he did not. He has the little limited playing time he's had this year. He hasn't been good. He gave up a couple plays yesterday, and he's given up plays pretty much every time he's been on the field. And
but every time he's been on the field, everybody in front of him is hurt.
But he still has to make
anybody
plays.
coming in December.
I never got the Jeremy Reeves tingle like a lot of people did. I never saw what people really. I never saw myself what people saw in him. Okay, I just thought he was just another guy. And it kind of proved it yesterday. If you were to take anything away from the play yesterday, and it's kind of hard to judge the defense because you have Jake from State Farm under center. They played very well for most of the game.
Yeah, and not only that, but Bobby McCain, has a pick six and then a pick to seal the game. I think he right there said, "This is my position," and that's the end of that. All this Reeves talk can go away.
Oh, stop! It was Jake Fromm and
it don't matter. I think
it doesn't matter.
The second half of the season, him and William Jackson III, you saw them turn a corner. Yeah, William Jackson III has some injury issues, but you saw both of them turn the corner once they learned the offense. You saw less breakdowns. Jackson was getting a lot more comfortable with running the zone, and I have high hopes for him in the next few seasons as well. I think he's going to be a good cornerback from us. But yeah, I mean, I know we're going to get into the player talk later episodes, but just from what we've seen the past couple of weeks,
right. I think everybody needs to be evaluated with a very few exceptions. And one of the things I saw that John Keim wrote this morning about Ron's presser was when he was asked if he was going to make any changes in the staff, or if he said, "Do you anticipate making any changes in the staff," or something like that? And Ron said, "No, I don't anticipate doing anything other than what we were planning on doing to make ourselves better anyway," which is not saying he won't make changes in the staff. And as we all well know, if you're paying attention to this podcast, I would like Jack Del Rio to get on a slow boat to China and go. I've had enough of that guy.
Not going to happen. He was confident enough to say in that interview that he's here to stay. I don't think that if he wasn't, he's told that.
Bleary-eyed old man.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go anywhere.
He's probably had a conversation with Ron already. They probably already talked about it. So he came out confident saying, "I'm not going anywhere," basically.
Yeah. Ron,
might as well
just
just
bitch.
You might as well get off that bandwagon. It's just what's happening is it's hard because we're seeing some coaches getting fired, right?
There's
we can use this.
There's some good defense.
Brian Flores.
Flores was like, I can't believe, and I understand why they parted ways, but I think Miami is stupid for letting.
Why did they
go.
part ways?
Because he wanted this. He wanted Deshaun Watson. The owners want Tua. There was a rift between him and Tua because the coach Tua knows the coach wanted another quarterback.
Speculation or confirmed?
This is confirmed. This is confirmed by, I think, not Jeremy Fowler, somebody else. I saw them on Twitter today. I can't think of.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just wondering.
But yeah, that's
it paves the way to bring him here as our new defensive coordinator when we put Jack Del Rio on the slow boat to China.
It would be nice, but I think he's going to be up for a head coaching job because I think he did a good job with the Dolphins.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think he's a good coach, and he'll probably be in line for a head coaching job before he'd want to come back to a defensive coordinator position.
Chicago.
Yeah,
Chicago. And
Yeah.
I mean, I doubt Denver. Denver's probably going to want to go on an offensive way because they went with a defensive guy last time, and Fangio just wasn't able to get anything going there. But Chicago, I think, fits for Brian Flores, and that's unfortunate because I'd love him to come here and be our linebackers coach if Jack Del Rio is not getting on said slow boat to China, which I really hope he does. So, what did you think of the game yesterday overall, Jesse? Did you learn anything? There's nothing really to learn in a game like that.
I mean, nothing that we didn't already know. I mean, I think Heineke was awful in the first half. He got a little bit better in the second half, which was kind of his MO throughout the season, I guess.
He hit a deep pass in stride. He hit Terry on a deep pass in stride.
And the hive came out of hiding a little bit for a few minutes. Someone tweeted that was his best pass of the day, and I quote tweeted, I said that was the best pass of the fucking season.
For him, other than the one to JD McKissick in week 2 that on that 2-play drive.
Yeah, I think that will route. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a good pass. But listen, he can't be consistent, and I want Taylor Heineke within this organization. I'd like him to be our quarterback too, and I don't think many people would argue that point. I think he would be a perfect fill-in spot starter in need. But other than that, I don't want to see him touch the field in meaningful reps unless our quarterback goes down.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have said many a time, and so has Keith, and so has Jesse, that you should watch our YouTube stream. And one of the reasons why is if at this time in the show, if you were watching, you would have seen just how much of that very long carrot Keith got in his mouth all in one push.
It's a cantaloupe, buddy. Cantaloupe.
Oh, he got a whole cantaloupe in his mouth. Everybody.
I'm making better choices with my life.
Cantaloupe. All right. So, Keith, what did you think of our offense? Did you have any thoughts about what you actually saw, or was it just something that was?
No, I have absolutely no input on any of this. I checked out. After the Eagles game, and I'll be 100% honest. Like,
so did you watch the game?
Yeah, I watched. Well, yeah, I watched it.
Well, I
paid more attention to the fourth quarter, but there was other things going on. My kids were, in here playing, and my kid wanted us to build some Legos, and so I wasn't 100%, keeping my eyes on the TV, and like I said. As a fan, yes, you want them to win. You want to go out, on a high note. We did that, but emotionally, I was checked out. I really wouldn't have cared if they won or lost. I didn't think it'd make a difference. Being that they won and they hit a 7-10 record, I guess I looked at it like, okay, we're kind of still where we're at. We've got some pieces missing that definitely needs to be addressed. I'm sure we'll talk more about that as, those timeframes come, and no need to get into it now. But, like every season as a fan of this team, I'm kind of I'm in the off season mode, so I'm wondering, what are we going to do? Like everyone else, are we going after a quarterback? Are we getting, a vet? Like, we're right back in the same situation that we were last offseason, and that doesn't feel good. I was not a fan of the Fitzpatrick signing because I felt like this is a Band-Aid situation. I don't want to go into another Band-Aid situation. Look, if we're going to lose and not be good, I'd rather do it with a guy who's potentially going to be our franchise quarterback.
Well, there are guys that are coming around in free agency like Mariota and Trubisky that this team has been rumored to be pursued anyway. Jameis Winston that they didn't have a chance for, but these are relatively young guys with a lot of talent, a lot of upside. So that going that route might not be the worst way to go. I think we all want a draft pick, though.
I'm not moved by any of that, though. I'm just not.
Yeah, I'm especially. I'd rather have Trubisky than Winston, but I'd probably pick Mariota over Trubisky if that's the case. Well, we would have to draft someone. Draft someone.
Oh yeah, because they are in their 8th year. Trubisky's in his 8th year, and I don't see us getting 7 years out of him. And
I need to feel like if we're going this route as a fan, I need to feel like that there's a fucking plan in place. Simple as that.
The team has a top-notch marketing group that will be able to get that out of you.
What?
The team has a top-notch marketing group that will be able to get that emotion out of you. You will be paying for your season tickets before you know it.
I'm paying for them anyways, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just tired of the same bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
I get it.
Everybody. And this is me being honest and real. Like, obviously I kept a lot of my negativity off of Twitter for, multiple reasons, but I'm just tired. I'm tired, and I was disappointed in the offseason when they went the Fitzpatrick route because, again, I want to be excited about the future. I don't need to be excited about next season or the season after that. Right. And what I mean by that is I just need to know that there's a future plan in place. Fitzpatrick wasn't it. These guys that we're talking about with Trubisky, Winston, Mariota, these guys ain't it either. They're not.
Let me ask you this, Keith.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll ask you too, John. Do y'all think, and I'll answer first. I think we would have got at least 2 more wins out of Fitzpatrick than we did Taylor Heineke.
I'd agree with
you guys.
Yep.
Sure.
I think so. Sure.
And we all knew Fitzpatrick was coming here to be a stopgap.
I'll go you one better too and say probably would have got 2 more wins if freaking Antonio Gibson holds on to some fumbles.
Maybe.
The Chargers,
maybe so. Yeah.
The Chargers game he fumbled at the end. Wasn't it a Cowboys game he fumbled down inside the red zone?
Well, I don't think either one of the Cowboys games were close. So
there was I can't remember which game it was, but
there was a couple of them. I know what you're talking about.
There were times we were driving.
Yeah. Like as far as I think they did have a plan. Unfortunately, injuries got in the way, and I'm not as down on this season as a lot of people are.
I need a long-term plan. I'm tired of these short. I'm tired of the plug and play players. I'm done.
I don't think.
Well, but we've only really had one of those at quarterback.
They don't want to be. It's not what. That's not in their plan. They don't want just to get a different quarterback every single year. We can't. You can't really think that's their plan, right?
I don't think it is. But
this past draft, it's quite possible they didn't see anybody in that draft that they wanted to give up the farm to go get that was worth it. And to be honest with you,
or maybe no one was willing to take anything because they needed who they drafted.
Yeah,
that's very true too. That's very possible.
I mean, the quarterbacks, Wilson and the Chicago. What other quarterback was taken in the first? None of them.
Mac Jones.
Even Mac Jones.
Playoffs.
Even Mac Jones. Okay, he's probably the best out of the bunch, but still, he doesn't like. He where he went was the best possible place for him. He probably wouldn't have played nearly as well as he did, and it's not like he's lighting the world on fire. He's not. The whole team is damn good, and it's a Bill Belichick team. But the fact of the matter is, they did not identify anybody that was worth risking or giving up the farm for. And I understand that. I think
they need to go completely opposite of how we usually do things. This team seems to always chase names that are under a lot of hype. I really do think that they just need to evaluate themselves a quarterback that they can get, whether that be first round, second round, third round. I mean, I'm not even saying go for some of these top guys. I mean, there's a lot of teams ahead of us that need a quarterback that are going to draft.
Not really.
So
not really. Not very many at all. Maybe 2 or 3. And it depends. Maybe the Giants.
4 to 5. And if I had my research in front of me, I'd tell you who they are. So I'll be ready for you on Friday.
Okay, good. Because I'm calling you on that.
Yeah.
Well, we know the Jaguars
are pretty face when you're going to start putting it out there.
So basically my point is that I just need to have a plan. There's a lot of guys that can come into this draft that don't get a lot of hype. Herbert didn't get any hype. Russell Wilson hasn't got, get that hype. There wasn't a lot of hype.
Herbert had some. Herbert had a couple of guys were saying that he's actually the best pure passer out of that draft. He just dropped a little.
I'm talking about the Twitter GMs creating nostalgia over these guys, the same way they talk about a man's hand size.
I talk about a man's hand size.
I know you do.
I do. I think it's a factor. I think it's a factor.
I don't know. I just, again, I need to go to I need a plan. We need a plan.
Well,
fans.
You got to also keep in mind that last year was so strange with COVID and everything like that. You had a lot of quarterbacks and a lot of players that didn't play. And I think that it's not unreasonable to say that even if they looked at those quarterbacks like Justin Fields and some of these other guys and said, okay, but we can't see an actual sampling of these guys because of who they're playing against. So many people didn't play, in college football. So who knows why? My entire passion for why I wanted to win the game yesterday, which is what this segment
Because you hate the
is.
Giants.
I hate the fucking Giants.
Mm.
And to heap on top of it, Joe Judge and his freaking know-nothing comments. I'm glad that by Friday, Ron was pissed off about that enough to speak about it on the radio and say how pissed off he was about it. And I wish I could have been sitting there listening to what Ron said when he walked by Joe Judge and shook his hand at the end of the game. I so hope he turned around and said, "You need to shut your fucking mouth, clown boy," and honked him on his goddamn big red nose. Right? I hate that guy. And
Yeah,
now
not
that he is
much.
still the Giants coach, I'm very happy about that. And what he said, it throws fuel to the fire of a rivalry that for me is the biggest one that we've got. That's
Yeah.
just for me.
No
So,
doubt.
fuck
I want
him.
to circle
And
on
fuck
to
them.
Keith's
And fuck
points
Daniel Jones. And fuck
about
Jake Fromm.
teams that could possibly want a quarterback before we pick in the draft. Well, Jacksonville Jaguars has the first pick.
Nope.
They do not need a quarterback. Houston Texans, they like Davis Mills. They're not going to want a quarterback.
They used
The
their
Jets-
first pick on him.
They really should, though.
But you know what the thing about Davis
want
Mills
Davis.
is-
No, they like Davis Mills. They're not
He was-
going anywhere.
Yeah, they didn't have a first round pick, but he was the first pick that they made
Yeah.
in that draft.
No, they
So
really like him.
Definitely are high on him.
He's definitely, and we actually we were thinking about drafting Davis Mills before he was picked by the Texans. The Jets, they got their first round quarterback last year. The Giants are probably sticking with Daniel Jones one more
Depends.
time.
Right, well, if it stays Joe Judge, yes, they'll still.
The Panthers are going to be in the quarterback market. They definitely are. Then you got the Giants again. You have the Falcons. They are bringing. They're not. No, they're bringing Matt.
I don't know that how
Matty Ice is coming back.
How old is he
coming
though?
back?
He's been there for what?
He's
14
like
years.
38, 37, 38.
Doesn't mean they won't draft.
Yeah, they got to take somebody. They
Possible.
might go for a project guy. That
That's
would be all right.
possible. The Denver Broncos.
They'll take one.
they-
Who's the
they-
coach? You got to see who their coach is.
Yeah, you got to see who their coach is.
I would bet
and
they're
then
gonna
the
be on a
Jets
quarterback.
again. So you got two, maybe three teams that might be in the quarterback search before we pick. But
Right.
there's other teams that if they identify a guy that that jump from 11 to say 7,
8,
6,
7.
5, somewhere around there. That's not too huge of a jump where you got to give up 3 or 4 first round picks for.
The best thing about that kind of talk is there is a chart that they use. It's an unofficial
Yeah.
chart, and Jimmy Johnson developed it that gives a value
It's-
point system for
yeah.
each of the picks. And they do drop off considerably. I think the first pick in the draft is worth like 3,000 points. And the idea is if I want to move from 11 to 8 and 8 is worth 1,800 points and I only have 1,200, well, I got to come up with 600 more points worth of draft picks, which
Yeah.
might be a third, a fourth, or a second and a third. But it's not moving up from 20 to
What
8.
helps in this
It's only moving a few
situation-
spots.
What helps in
And
this
11 is a valuable
situation
pick.
Is you have multiple teams that have
exactly that
have
that,
2
that are-
picks.
to have 2 picks. Yeah. So you never
You know who's going to thrive is the Eagles.
They're not. I don't know. I know they got 3 first round picks, but none of them are in the top 10. Thankfully, I was worried about that, but they don't have any top 10 picks. That's good.
Nick Sirianni on the sidelines looks like a guy that should be
I think
selling
top 10
fucking
is-
shrooms at a goddamn
I think top
fish shop.
10 picks is to me is overrated. I think if you got 3 first rounds, you're in pretty good shape. It doesn't matter where you're selecting.
You're bound to hit on them.
Yeah.
But I had this discussion with people yesterday about the draft choice, where you're going to pick. It means nothing. It means nothing. It
Yeah.
really doesn't. The only
To be
they
honest,
bust
man,
at such high rates, especially
yes, a lot of times, man, drafting a player, you just never know. Sometimes it's like fucking throwing a dart at the dartboard. You just don't.
and that's what we expect. That rule
That's
to do with
why
Carolina.
the average player life in the NFL is 3 years.
Yeah, a little under 4 years. But the way I see it is this. When people are talking about, oh, this is a meaningless game, nobody's going to care if you win it or lose it. I'm going to care for one.
Yeah,
And
damn right I care.
But aside from the fact of that, show me any metric that proves that a draft position means something. Where you pick. And the best way to see that
Look
is
at the
icon.
Jacksonville Jaguars. They've been picking in the top 5 for fucking 100
Dude,
fucking years. And guess
of
what?
the top 10,
They still picking the goddamn top 5 every fucking year.
right? Of the top 10, there's like 5 or 6 teams that are there all the fucking time. And when you look at the bottom 5, the guys that are picking 32nd, 30th, 28th, it's all the same team.
Yeah.
All the time. So, it's just a matter. I mean, look at the Detroit Lions, for God's sakes. They've been picking in the top 10 probably since 1998. So
Yeah, I mean, so you got to think about it that way, man.
Right.
Identify your quarterback. Get your quarterback, whether it's the free agency or the draft, and then that's how you do it. That's how you get out of the fucking basement.
And I'm sure we're gonna get into it maybe Friday, maybe throughout. But I don't know if you guys saw the schedule for next year. Not necessarily.
I've seen our
It's
opponents.
That's what I mean.
a very favorable schedule.
Yeah.
Well, it's a third place schedule.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference.
It's a schedule. It's a schedule that fits with a team that is 7-9, 7-10, right?
Right.
This year, we went 7-10 against playing some pretty good opponents.
Schedule.
Yeah.
Right.
So what I really think,
quarterback too under helm.
correct.
And
so what I think is going to happen is, I know a lot of people are like, oh, this is it for, and I even said this. I said year 3, that seat better get hot, because he's got to hit this season, in my opinion. He's got to hit, and we got to progress in order to keep that seat cold, is what I think. And right now, I believe with our salary cap, I believe with that favorable type of schedule, we're going to do that. And I'm a glass half empty guy, right? But I'm looking at that schedule and I'm like, wow, that's something a 7-9 team should have had.
This is why. Go ahead, finish.
No, I was going to say, so I do believe that we're going to see a turnaround and things are going to be different next season. And I'm trying to keep the fan out of me when I say that, right? Because I don't want to be a homer. But
do the analysis thing.
But when you take a look, but when you take a look at the salary cap, you take a look at where we stand in the draft right now, right? And what we could potentially do with that. We're going to be adding pieces that's missing. Not everything that we add is going to work, right? That's just life. That happens. Mm-hmm. But I do see us still trending upwards. And finally, we'll have an identity. The only thing that is left at this point, is a new stadium. And I'm telling you, I truly believe once this new stadium happens, right, there's not going to be a lot for these fans to bitch and complain about except for the game itself. And I really think that all these great things are going to be coming to us. It's just, again, we're playing with a game of patience. And I know fans, including myself, we don't have a lot of room for that. And I don't want to be like, no, fire Ron. I believe Ron should get his 5 years just because sorry ass Jay Gruden got his, right? Well, so I think you at least owe Ron 5 years. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that sentiment, but the fact that you let Jay Gruden's sorry ass get 5 years, no, Ron can take a seat for 5 too. Give the man an opportunity, but after 5, you got to go, bro.
This is why I'm so down on fucking Jack Del Rio, all right? Because we should have our identity. Our identity, it should be our defense. It should be our defense. And the only reason that it's not our defense is because it was grossly mismanaged. It was terribly mismanaged.
I'm talking team name.
I know that's what you're talking about, is a team name. But our season could have been better if that old ass fucking crusty son of a bitch gets off his ass and starts making the changes he knows needs to be made when they need to be made.
I know, but that's
a whole other thing.
These are shoulda, woulda, couldas, though.
We should absolutely be buyers this offseason. We've got the cap space.
Yep.
We've got the money. We've got it lined up for us in that we're going to have a gigantic leap in the cap. We've got a bonanza of free agents because I'd say probably 60 to 70% last year were first. They were only signed for 1 year last year. So there's going to be guys all over the place with a lot of talent that we can just go.
Look, that sums up my whole point. is what you kind of just said. That sums up my whole point.
We should be
Things
biased.
are lining up for us to be in a true upward trend of
Right.
being a good team again.
Right.
And
And
you
if
got-
Jack
you-
Del Rio
you-
fucks this
you-
defense
you
up again
got
next
to-
year, I'm going to be pissed.
You got to look at the facts. There's holes on this team, but there's not as many holes as some may think. I
Health
think
would help a lot of our holes.
that's
would
what I
help a lot
mean.
of our holes.
Is if we're healthy, we have the cap space to get some good, high price free agents to fill in the few holes that we do have besides quarterback, obviously. But
And I'm really tired of hearing the point of people saying, "Ain't nobody gonna want to come here." Shut the fuck up.
listen,
That holds
money,
zero
it's all
ground.
about money.
That holds
All about
zero
money.
ground. It's all about
That's
the
their
bag
problem.
and how much. First of all,
Yeah.
these players have no loyalty to an organization.
No.
They have loyalty to money. So if the money is being tossed their way, and I know Scott, I'm thinking of Scott right now when I say this, because he'll be like, "Oh, well, we threw the bag at Amari Cooper, and he didn't even want to come." Good. I'm glad he didn't. Right?
Cooper wanted to stay. His family lives in Dallas. There is some extenuating circumstances when it comes to that. That's besides the point.
Let me do Scott a favor real quick. All right, Scott, this is for you. Ready? All right, that's a tone where you can rewind back because he's going to. He's going to keep rewinding back to where Keith says, "I'm thinking about Scott. I'm thinking about Scott. I'm thinking about Scott right now."
One thing that does suck a little bit is they're projecting the salary cap is not going to be quite as high as they thought.
We still got a lot of space,
but we do. I think we're going to have like 61 or 62 million dollars, and
we haven't even made any moves yet to free up any space.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? They might let Collins walk, but who knows what they're going to do?
But listen, I don't think they're going to let Collins
Scherf
walk,
is definitely
because I think he's still got one more year. We know Scherf is gone. They just wrapped up Leno, which is a good move. I think that was a very, very smart
Great
move.
move.
I
think they should do everything they can other than Scherf to keep that line intact.
I do
like
not want. I do not want Brandon Sheriff on this team next year, and I think that will. I'd be pissed unless he takes like a $14 million a year contract, which that's not what he wants.
We could get. How much is the drop off in production do you get when you go to Schweitzer?
There isn't.
But you get like a $10 million difference in salary.
Yeah, exactly.
I like Schweitzer. Schweitzer, I think, will throw a freaking pickup truck through a brick wall for you. I like that guy. He's a brawler.
I think they need to lock up Flowers too. But we're going to get into this, later on. So
yeah, we're all over.
But there's a lot.
Who gets your game ball for yesterday?
Antonio Gibson.
Still back on the Giants. Antonio Gibson. Now, Antonio Gibson yesterday, his toe looks fine, right?
Yeah.
But he can't ever seem to break the big one. I mean, he breaks a lot of 10, 12, 14, 15. He had a lot of yards yesterday, but God damn it, man, one more cut, one more use of the block this way, and you can go all the way. And I just don't see it out of him a lot.
Yeah, that one. He could
Yesterday
have had a touchdown. For some reason, he swung it up the side. Then he tripped over the turf monster. But if he would have just followed Terry to the outside, he would have got another touchdown.
Yeah, sometimes those kinds of things, they get on my nerves. The other thing about him that I really don't like is when he gets into traffic, you see his hand up. He's like a rodeo guy. He's on the back of the horse with his hand up like this, holding on to the ball with one fucking hand. That's all our backs, though. That needs to be fixed. So, all right. So your game ball is Antonio Gibson. Keith, who's your offensive game ball? It's Mr. Mute.
Should have stayed on mute because I don't really care.
He doesn't care. All right, Johnny Apathetic is your offensive game ball. I'm going to go ahead and give mine to Terry McLaurin because he's a stud, and I know he listens to this show, and I want him to know I love him, and that's why I wanted to sign a contract because I think he's awesome.
We love you, Terry.
Hey, dude's got the best hairline in the NFL.
Hey,
wait till you see him without a helmet.
I got to take an emergency exit.
He's out.
All right,
You're out?
Sorry. Yeah.
He's out. Bye,
We'll see you
Keith.
Friday.
You have a good
Sorry.
day.
Sorry.
Ambassador business.
He's probably got to take a shit.
Probably. All right. Now we can tell him how funny he looks. All right. Anyway, defensive game ball. Who are you going to give it to?
Bobby McCain, man.
Of course. Pick 6. against the Giants. Fuck them all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wanted John Allen to get that one more sack to get over 10
Yeah.
for the season, but unfortunately he did not get it. But oh well, I mean,
I wanted him to get it like 4 or 5 more sacks just because I like
yeah.
watching our defense hit Giants quarterbacks. But
Did you put money on the fact that we were going to have 15 sacks this game? I think I remember.
15 was it? I think I
Yeah.
said 23.
Oh, okay. I
I
don't think
also
you.
said
I
we
don't
went
think you hit
38
that
to
bet,
10.
did you?
I also said we went 38-10. But actually, I think I did say that we shouldn't give up more than 7 points. So
No, you
yeah,
did
I'll
say
pat
that.
myself on the back for that.
I mean that should have been a blowout. I mean, we probably should have scored on every drive.
Oh yeah, and on in the first half and specifically, I kept getting. It's like, dude, this is a Giants. Don't fucking just go. We'd get down and we'd sputter out. Good thing though is Joey Sly, re-sign that dude, man.
Oh yeah,
he had one problem on an extra point. I think he got one block because the right side of the line fell down.
Other than that, perfect. We got a long-term kicker.
And a 55-yard kick, man, dude.
Yeah.
And I don't want to point out the obvious, but Dustin Hopkins yesterday missed a fucking kick that could have goddamn put the Chargers in the playoffs. And
Yeah, listen, for all those Dustin Hopkins sympathizers out there, apologists, listen, fucking Dustin Hopkins sucks.
It's not even that. Learn. Kickers, you can go find another one.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we went through a freaking problem with Blewett, but we got our kicker.
Yeah.
They're not that hard to find. There's a lot of them. You can find one. But now that I've said that, we'll probably see Sly get like, something like 15 out of 39 next year. Totally terrible. All right. So I would give my defensive game ball to James Smith-Williams. I thought that he was being pretty disruptive from the outside. Nah, there's nobody else I'd like to give it to. But overall, hot damn, we won.
We won.
Shit, the Giants are a fucking dumpster fire.
Yep.
And I guess we'll see you Friday.
That's it.
Where we'll tell Keith what he won for. I'm gonna fuck with him. I'm gonna tell him he only got 23 right all year. As long as Scott doesn't blow it, don't tell him.
Yeah. Scott, keep your mouth shut.
Say your thing.
Hail to the team.
Later.